program outcomes. I have given you the idea between what is outcomes and output. Now we'll take care of these POs, how the POs are taken care. If you see, means if I go on defining what is PO is basically the gun or the attributes which the graduates are supposed to have after going through a 4-year course as BTech program or 3-year course as a diploma program in your institute, or in that matter MBA also or master degree also. So once they complete that program, what type of gun or attributes they will have, that is reflected in your POs. So when we talk about gun means, it is not only the knowledge, it is their life skill, attitude, what life activities they will are capable of performing. All those things matters. So if I compare that, वहाँ बैठने से भी होगा, मैं कर लूँगा. अगर in case of any problem, I will give a call. So if I compare that with महाभारत अर्जुन का साथ अगर compare हम करेंगे, so it is not that Arjun was knowing how to use bow, but at the same time he was knowing the गंधर्व कला, संगीत भी सिखाते थे वो, भीम को खाना बनाना भी आता था. So it is not only the knowledge of a particular cognitive knowledge which we are talking, it is the skill associated with that. In addition to that, the human factors, because of knowledge and skill तो robot भी कर सकता है. But what this human factor, which now human like robots are also coming, so they will also do the human activities. The other day when I was going through the literature, last STC also I informed, human like AI was forecasted that 2100 में आएगा बोल के. It was 2017 के 19 का Prof का forecast था. 2023 में लोगों ने फोरकास्ट कर दिया कि ह्यूमन लाइक एआई विल बी अवेलेबल इन 2060. एंड मुझे लग रहा है अनदर 5 years में you'll realize that human like AI will be available by 2040. So imagine the processor is like computer, a very high speed processor, and the brain is like human being. So these are all things which are going to happen. But as on today, in the existing scenario, when we talk about the POs are basically the human factor and the cognitive and the psychomotor knowledge which a person will have during his stay. How you are going to give that knowledge to him or her so that he inculcate those things while undergoing the program, and once he gets out of your institute, start practicing that in his professional career. Second is, since it is an outcome, so whatever you are claiming that this gun they will have, it has to be measurable. So that is the difference between outcome and output. But outcomes, when we say, that means all those things. अगर हम उसको बोल रहे हैं कि he is going to be a king, then all king-like characteristics are to be measured. If you are telling कि नहीं, he will be Kautalya, he will be another Chanakya of this era, then all these Chanakya's attributes are to be measured. So in simple language, if I define this is gun. In Hindi also, you people know we say gun. Odia also, every regional language, I think this word is a Sanskrit word, so that's why I put it so that you can understand. क्या कला, क्या गुण है स्टूडेंट का अंदर में, that is what is POs in simple language. So you should not get confused. So now when we talk about the POs, if I dissect that, then any PO, when you dissect, it will have a component of knowledge, it will have a component of skill, it will have a component of life activities, it will have a component of attitude. Okay. So now some of the PO may not have all the 4. But when a student is going to go through a course, he may acquire knowledge and skill in a particular subject. He may acquire the ethical values, this, that in another courses. So by the time he pass out, then you'll have all the characteristics. or the gun. So therefore, in your in a semester you have 5 subjects, so around 10 subject in a year maximum, then 4 years 40 subjects. So that 40 subjects are to be distributed in such a way that all these POs, a graduate engineering graduate का क्या क्या गुण होना है, once we define that, those 40 subjects should cover that. Not necessarily each subject will cover all POs. No, you cannot. But all 40 subjects, when holistically to be seen, then you cannot say that कि इसका पास एक गुण नहीं है, because then your curriculum is not well defined. It is not properly implemented. So therefore, you ensure that all these 40 subjects at the end of this 40 subject, when he gets through, then he should have all the POs which we are going to define. When the POs are defined, basically since NBA is under Washington Accord, so we take the knowledge profile of Washington Accord. Knowledge profile and competency profile, because knowledge is that cognitive aspect. When we say proficiency or competency, means your basically the practical skill and the strength of using that in your professional career once you are put into the tasks. So when we define these POs, we basically go for those type of things कि हम लोग POs किस accord का मुताबिक बना रहे हैं. Is it Sydney Accord? Is it Dublin Accord? So if you see our basically pure engineering aspect, if you want engineering, another is technology. If it is technology, then we generally refer to Sydney Accord. But when it is engineering, you want engineering capability, then it is Washington Accord. Then if it is technician education like diploma, then Dublin is the. So there are defined international accord where we are signatories also. And now for our diploma, since diploma is like technician and engineering mixed, so for diploma we are going for Sydney Accord. We are not signing, so it is in pipeline. So that's the way. Then one more news which I would like to share here, that our tier 1 institutions were under Washington Accord. Tier 2 institute, that affiliated college were not, but Dr. Nasa and the team, they were trying. They are trying seriously to make it a part of Washington Accord. So recently the meeting was there in Delhi. This international INE, that engineering alliance, they had a meeting. In principle, they have agreed for this. So the confirmation will come in 2025, because that has to be ratified in another meeting. So if it is going through, then you see all our programs are going to be under Washington Accord. So that is a great thing. So that is a big achievement which we are going to have. So now in this situation, so now I understand that you have understood what is POs now. Now let's think about the POs, and we'll dissect that way. So the first PO, now we have in new SAR, the new SAR which has been now released for Tier 1 Institute, there are 11 POs. We have reduced 1 POs because we have merged 1 PO with somebody, and because we brought this sustainable development goal. So I'm not going to discuss that new SAR here. I'm discussing this 12 POs so that you'll get to know what is happening. The first PO is called the engineering knowledge. And you see what this first PO is telling: apply knowledge of mathematics, natural science, computing, engineering fundamentals, and an engineering specialization as specified in Washington Accord knowledge profile 1 to knowledge profile 4, that is below मैं mention किया हूँ, respectively, to develop to the solution of complex engineering problem. So if you see these particular things, ये as specified in WK1 to WK4 respectively, वर्ड आपको नॉर्मल पीओ में नहीं मिलेगा. आपका जो पीओ एनबीए डिक्लेयर करता है वो कैसे लिखता है: अप्लाई नॉलेज ऑफ मैथमेटिक्स, नेचुरल साइंस, कंप्यूटिंग, इंजीनियरिंग फंडामेंटल्स एंड इंजीनियरिंग स्पेशलाइजेशन टू डेवलप टू द सॉल्यूशन ऑफ कॉम्प्लेक्स इंजीनियरिंग प्रॉब्लम. मैं इसको क्यों लेके आया? बिकॉज वाइल मेकिंग द पीओज हम ये सब रिफर करते हैं कि बिकॉज आवर स्टूडेंट्स आर गोइंग टू बी at par with the Washington Accords signatories countries. So you cannot create a knowledge profile of yourself in your style, which is not acceptable to them. So therefore, Washington Accord knowledge profile, the K is knowledge, W is Washington. So that's the SK means Sydney knowledge profile. So the WK1 to WK4 are the basically the Washington Accord knowledge profile. Keeping this knowledge profile in the background, we try to prepare the POs for our countries, and this is what we have done. And I wanted to show you that this is what it is, the way it is done. Now read the blue word: breadth, depth, and type of knowledge, both theoretical and practical, are to be considered. So when you are saying the knowledge, it is not only the horizontal expansion, it is how deep diving into that knowledge also coming into picture. And knowledge not only cognitive here, practical skill also, psychomotor is also coming. So therefore, when we talk about the knowledge, it is taking care of both theory and practice, depth and breadth. So that's the way the knowledge. Now the question is that if you mark here, what are the keywords? That the keyword is mathematics, natural science, computing, engineering fundamental, engineering specialist, and complex engineering problem. So that means your first PO is telling that the graduate should have sufficient mathematical knowledge, sufficient natural science knowledge, sufficient computing knowledge, and knowledge of engineering fundamental and some specializations of engineering, so that they are able to solve the complex engineering problem. Suppose, let's say, you teach only normal calculus, not the higher level of mathematics, and you say the engineers to solve the complex engineering problem. It's not possible. You know, higher order solutions are required when you enter into the difficult engineering problem. So therefore, our mathematics should not be a lighter math. It should have that depth and breadth. So with that knowledge, they will be in a position to solve this complex engineering problem. So what is a complex engineering problem is very important. You must understand, because in your question paper, the reviewer, they start searching for complex engineering problem. Whether you have created the problem as a complex engineering problem or not, they try to check in your question paper. See, the definition of complex engineering problem is that the problem which doesn't have a exact solution. आप a plus b whole square करने से वो उसका straight is a square b square 2ab आ गया. That should not be case. That the problem which have multiple solutions, where you are trying to get the best approximate solution for that, that means you are dealing with a problem which is multivariable, multidimensional. So that only straightforward equation is not going to solve that. Okay. So when we talk about the complex engineering problem, that means it doesn't have a unique one solution. It has multiple possible solutions where the best approximate solution is picked up, and it is a problem of multivariable and multidimensional. So that you keep in your mind. In your question paper, you have to. So now when we try to map the syllabus with PO or the question paper with PO, I'll just give you one example. How do we map? Then what we do, we search in the question paper, try to map whether it is mapping with PO1 or not. We see, yes, math is going to be used, so math is ticked. There is no concept of physics, so natural science, chemistry, biology is not coming, cross. Yes, the particular application requires some computing knowledge, tick. Engineering fundamental has to be used, tick. But engineering specialization is not getting used, cross. So if now how many dissecting term you are bringing? Mathematics 1, natural science 2, computing 3, engineering fundamental 4, and engineering specialization 5. So out of 5, 3 is your middle. If it is 3, you have to map, you have to grade your mapping. So mapping generally is graded as 1 to 3. 1 is low, 2 is moderate, and 3 is high. So 5 में 3 is moderate. If it is number of cross is 3, then it is 2 or 1 aega. So in that case, it is low. If number of cross is less, then it will be 4 or 5, then your mapping will be 3. So when reviewers they come, they ask you, isko 3 kyun diya? Because you have not dissected that properly, you have not created a background paper for yourself, so you get stuck वहाँ उनका मुंह देखते रहते हैं, नहीं सर ये तो मैप करता है, ये करता है, वो करता है, आप बोलते रहते हैं, घुमाते रहते हैं, और हम लोग उसको आपको उल्टा घुमाते रहते हैं. So that becomes a loop, और स्पाइडर नेट में फंसने वाला लूप हो जाता है. So this is the way, and there while mapping your breadth depth needs to be seen. And suppose it is not taken care in theory, but you have taken care that aspect in practical, that you also justify कि नहीं सर ये सब्जेक्ट मैप हो रहा है कि इसका ये पर्सन में लैब क्लास में एक्सप्लेन कर चुका हूं उनको. So that depth is taken care here. So only thing is that you have to create a paper in that line. So that's the way you have to look into this. ये WK1, WK2 ये सब मैं थोड़ा एक को मैं बता देता हूँ. The Washington Accord Knowledge 1 is a systematic theory-based understanding of the natural sciences applicable to the discipline and awareness of relevant social sciences. The society को भी लेके आया. WK2 is conceptually based mathematics, numerical analysis, data analysis, statistics, formal aspect of computer information science to support detailed analysis modeling applicable to the discipline. WK1 से natural science आ गया, WK2 से math आ गया and computation आ गया. Then WK3 क्या है? A systematic theory based formulation of engineering. So fundamental of engineering, fundamental WK3 से आ रहा है. And WK4 is specialized knowledge of engineering. So therefore, it is written that PO1 will have a knowledge specified for WK1 to WK4, and uska breadth and depth you have to decide. Is that correct? So this is the way. Let me tell you this one small paragraph of POs to write that. एक PO हम लोग का minimum 10 माने 2 days discussion होता है. इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज सेट करना, सिंप्लीफाई, कम वर्ड में, पूरा 10-12 मेंबर का कमिटी बनता है. बिकॉज आई एम पार्ट ऑफ दैट कोर कमिटी, तो आई नो दैट आर्गुमेंट होता है कि नहीं दिस वर्डिंग इज मिसलीडिंग, ये नहीं हो सकता है, ये वर्डिंग इट इज नॉट मैपिंग विद द वाशिंगटन अकॉर्ड, इट कैन नॉट बी ग्लोबली एक्सेप्टेड टर्म, सो चेंज इट. So like that we play with this type of things and finally bring out the POs. So and we cannot really bring lot of changes also, because abate जो करते हैं उनका बाउंड्री में रहना होता है. 10, 15, 20% आप चेंज कर सकते हो, ज़्यादा चेंज नहीं कर सकते. They will not accept. So try to understand the process of defining PO. Why I'm explaining, because PO is defined by NBA. You are not doing lot of things, but mapping you have to do. So unless you fundamentally know this, you cannot do mapping. But if you understand this PO, how it is made, CO you can make in that way. So CO you have to make. So CO you can frame and you will not have any problem, because this type of dissecting approach you have to do, and mapping will be easy for you. So that's the way you have to do it. HSPT has given you a CO defined CO. Many university also they do give. But if the gaps is found by the faculty कि नहीं ये curriculum gap है and they want to redefine CO, we appreciate that. The team appreciates that. So better you can also think of redefining, but generally what faculty they do, oh university तो दिया है and board दिया है, let's follow that. But we want to know that how come, how much you know the outcome based education. The outcome based education, if you see, or NBA if you see, there are 10 criteria. Now in the recent time the news are maybe हम criteria reduce कर दिए. So in 10 criteria, first, second, third are related to vision, mission, curriculum and teaching learning, then your COPOs. I say my language for these 3 criteria are subjective, because ये कोई mathematics नहीं है कि A plus B is C, ये subjective है. So it depends on understanding of the visiting team and understanding of you. So if both are mapped, then you get a good score. And इस score का ऊपर your ranking depend करता है. Your you will go for 6 years or 3 years or 0, ये काफी matter करता है. Criteria 4 student criteria, 5 is faculty criteria, 6 is infrastructure. All those things are very straightforward. 7 is a continuous improvement which is drawn from this. So it is linked. Then 8 is first year, 9 is your student support system, 10 is your governance. That's the way 10 criteria are. So those criteria are not very subjective. They are very specific calculations and number game. Here it is more wording. So, and it covers almost all 220 marks. So 120, no, more than that.
200 only criteria.
It is 60 for criteria 1, then 120, 200. Almost all 350 mark इसमें ही होता है. More 300 plus. 200 plus. PO2 is basically problem analysis. Now mark the action verb here. PO2 says that the student graduate will be in a position to have a capability of problem analysis. He will be in a position to analyze the problem. So that means to analyze a problem, उसका क्या क्या गुण होना चाहिए? Identify the problem, formulate the problem, review the research literature, analyze the complex engineering problem, तब जाके analysis होगा. So that means ये जो क्वेश्चन आएगा PO2 का जो क्वेश्चन आएगा, if analyzing का तरफ जा रहा है means it is level 4 of the cognitive domain. So you say that PO2 is mapping and your question paper is explain, state, then it is not correct. So your question paper, formulate, identify or analyze. Yeah, if the question wording like this, then you can say yeah, PO2 is mapped. So basically complexity analysis is the PO2's. So PO2 is that second gun of the graduate. उसमें this gun में they are capable of analyzing the complexity of an engineering problem. So basically, if you see here, you have to go with the keyword. More or less italic word जो मैं लगाया हूँ वो सब keyword है. Identify, formulate, review, analyze complex engineering problem, your keyword. So if question paper mapping to PO2 you are doing, then first see whether it is a complex engineering problem or not. If it is, then put a tick. If it is, cross. If it is not. So like that, the way I told you, and if you see here, it is also knowledge 1 profile 2, 4. It is covering in that. PO3 is basically design and development. So it is like creativity. Because once we bring design and development means it is higher level of cognitive requirement. So from your language itself, you can understand your question level should be which cognitive level. Domain, you can decide in that. So that way, if you see here, design creative solution for complex engineering problem and design and develop system or components process to meet identified needs with consideration of for the public health, safety, whole life cost, net zero carbon, culture, society and environment as required. So here if you see lot of requirement, क्या है? Creativity, then complex engineering problem, design, then public health, safety, whole life cost, net zero carbon, culture, society, environment. So when you are going to map with PO3, there are so many dissected terms, important terms. So your background paper will have lot of plus and minus. Accordingly, whether it is 3, 2, 1, you will decide. So if you see here, this talks about that in Washington Accord 5, it talks about the breadth and uniqueness of engineering problem, that is the extent to which problems are original, because आप create कर रहे, design कर रहे, so originality is a question. Then to which solution have not been previously identified or codified. That means you are looking forward to the you are looking forward to that type of situation where the PO3 when you are telling, that means you are taking care of a unique problem. So unique problem when you are talking means the problem is not either previously solved or either it was not thought of. So you are bringing innovation into that. So what is Washington Accord 5 knowledge profile? Knowledge including efficient resource use, environmental impacts, whole life cost calculation, reuse of resources, net zero carbon, and similar concept that supports engineering design and operation in a practice area. I'll tell you one of the best example of this PO. When you talk and you want to map, your students, they do projects. They prepare kits on some boards, they prepare. Once they go, you put it in one corner. When this next batch comes, they start with the new components. But if the next batch picks up these components, check which components can be reusable, dismantle it, then desolder and start using it, because there are components which has a lifespan. The lifespan is very much, the shelf life is existing now. If the shelf life is limited in that period, you cannot throw this thing. This is environmental hazards also. So these parameters you can always tell, sir, it is not only we have used the new idea, we have also used the resources which are available in the lab, so that my cost has come down. So that's those are the things are to be mapped here. हम लोग blindly PO mapping करते हैं, and that's why we face problem of not getting answer. And people like me who are part of the creation team, if I go, मेरे को convince करना आपसे इतना easy नहीं होगा, because if you give an answer in one way, I'll put another question in front of you. इसका मुझे reuse दिखाओ, इसका safety factor दिखाओ, उसका, क्योंकि all these terminologies are in our head now. So therefore, as faculty, as the person you are making this mapping, you have to be very clear कि मैं in my alignment matrix or the compliance matrix, how many blocks I am having plus, how many blocks I am not having plus. So that is important for you. Okay. PO4 is more research oriented because it is investigation. It is more deep into the design issues. So you are going more inside. So PO4 is conduct investigation of the complexity problem, means conduct investigation of complex engineering problem using research-based knowledge, including design of experiment, modeling, analysis, interpretation of data to provide valid conclusion. ये बेसिकली एमटेक थेसिस, पीएचडी, ये सब फैक्टर आता है इसमें. सो बेसिकली डिजाइन तक तो एक स्टेज है, इट इज बियॉन्ड डिजाइन, यू आर इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग बियॉन्ड दैट. सो देयरफॉर अगेन डेप्थ ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन, ब्रेथ ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन, किस टाइप का टेस्ट बेंच आप क्रिएट कर रहे हो, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन यू आर डूइंग, ऑल दोज थिंग्स मैटर्स हियर. सो दिस इज अगेन this sixth, fifth level of the cognitive domain. So Bloom's level, if I am mapping with the Bloom's level, try to map that way that this is a very high level of cognitive requirement. PO से देख के आपको पता चला जाएगा कि कितना level of cognitive requirement है. So automatically, even if you don't remember exactly what, but 6 level तो आपको याद है. So 6 level में you know कि 5 and 6 are more towards higher cognitive side. 3 and 4th is more moderate, and 1, 2 is low. So that is the way we are mapping 1, 2, 3 मैपिंग में. So 3 के लिए हम रखेंगे ऊपर वाला, 2 मिडिल, उस टाइप का करेंगे. मीन्स दैट इज द वे आई एम डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग. सो looking into this particular PO map करेगा कि नहीं करेगा, then you can very well understand this thing. And here the engineering Washington Accord knowledge profile is 8 is taken care. Engagement with selected knowledge in the current research literature of the discipline. What this Washington Accord knowledge profile 8 is telling? It is telling that students' engagement with selected knowledge in the current research literature of discipline, awareness of the power of critical thinking, creative approaches to evaluate emerging issues. So that means एक researcher का बात कर रहा है knowledge profile. That means you should have a knowledge profile under knowledge profile 8 of Washington Accord that gives you that you are a knowledgeous person having the current development knowledge of that particular discipline. You are well aware of the critical thinking in that area, and also you have a creative approach. So that is the research mentality. So that is what is the mapped. Okay. PO5 is more relevant in the present day scenario. PO5 is the modern tools use. So today, if you see any branch is computational branch, It is a computational electrical engineering, it is a computational mechanical engineering, it is a computational civil engineering. So without having a computational tool, you cannot be engineer of those hardcore branches. So if you see here, this PO5 says that the student will have a gun or attribute or a talent of using the modern tools. So when they go to their field, आप उनको इतना गुण दिया है कि वो मॉडर्न टूल यूज करने लायक है. So जैसे आजकल दिन में we talk about AI. So if we create graduate without telling them what is AI and what is the AI tools, obviously they will not be fitting into any industry. So if you are giving them the right kind of training, then you can say that, oh, he has that AI gun, he can manage. You take him, he will manage your industry. So that is what is the exactly is PO is all about. So now this engineering tools is basically create, select and apply. Mark the word. They may be having the capability of creating, they may be having the capability of selecting, they may be having a capability of applying, or all three. जो डेवलपर है वो तो क्रिएट करता है ना. So appropriate technique, resources, modern engineering IT tool, including prediction and modeling, recognizing their important term is limitation. Because while I'm applying a tool or creating a tool, I must know up to what extent I can do, up to what extent I cannot do that. So I must have a knowledge of that limitation. So यहाँ हम लोग जो रिव्यू टीम जाता है, जो अच्छे से जानते हैं, वो आपको वही पकड़ते हैं. इसका लिमिटेशन बताओ. आप तो मैप क्या है, लेट्स से सॉलिड वर्क्स आप यूज किया है, सॉलिड वर्क्स का लिमिटेशन बताओ हमको, एक कटिया का लिमिटेशन बताओ. सो देन यू आर इन ट्रबल, बिकॉज यू नो मल्टीपल टूल्स के सर ये कर देगा, ऐसे डिजाइन कर देगा, इस टाइप का 3D 360 डिग्री ये, लेकिन कहाँ फंसेगा आपको पता नहीं है. सो स्टूडेंट्स को वो नॉलेज आपको देना है कि दिस स्टूडेंट नोज दैट आई एम यूजिंग दिस टूल, बट इसमें ये बियॉन्ड दिस प्रिसिशन विल नॉट बी देयर. I cannot use beyond this. So that's the way you have to look into this. So इसमें knowledge profile 2 and 6. Knowledge profile 2 is mathematics, numerical, ये तो आएगा ही आएगा engineering tool develop करने के लिए. 6 आपको दिखाई नहीं था. So knowledge of engineering practices, technology and practice areas in engineering and discipline. So basically knowledge profile as per the Washington Accord, what a graduate should have. The knowledge profile 6 says that the engineering graduate should have a knowledge of engineering practice इन द प्रैक्टिस एरियाज इन द इंजीनियरिंग डिसिप्लिन. सपोज सिविल इंजीनियरिंग है तो सिविल इंजीनियरिंग का जो प्रैक्टिस एरिया है उसमें उसका नॉलेज होना चाहिए. मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर है तो मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग में प्रैक्टिस एरिया उसको नॉलेज होना चाहिए, तब जाके ये टूल वहाँ यूज कर पाएगा वो. सो दिस इज अबाउट PO5. PO6 is that you should not be disconnected from the world. So PO6 says that the engineers and the worlds are always connected, because the engineer should create solution for the world. When we say world, means it is not human race, animal, environment, everything. So you see the language. This analyze and evaluate societal and environmental aspect while solving complex engineering problem for its impact on sustainability with reference to economy, health, safety, legal framework, culture and environment. सो आप एक सिर्फ ब्लाइंड इंजीनियर नहीं हो सकता है, नहीं मेरे को खुदाई करना है, माइंस को खुदाई करना है विदाउट नोइंग दैट कि ये टोटल आपको ड्राई कर देगा. जैसे राजस्थान का सिचुएशन आज का दिन में देखो, देयर वाज अ टाइम व्हेन द लायन टाइगर्स वर इन दैट पर्टिकुलर स्टेट. इतना वहाँ ये लोगों ने उस टाइम जब भी जो एक्शन खुदाई जो इतना माइंस किए, कंप्लीट डिफॉरेस्टेशन करके छोड़ दिए कि जहाँ पर देयर इज नो रेन, नथिंग. So our development should not be, engineering applications should not be like that कि we kill our generation, we kill our environment, sustainability sustain नहीं करता है उधर. ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. As an engineer, while they are going through the engineering subject, they should be also taught about the impact of their engineering decision, the impact of their engineering problem solutions, and how it is going to affect the environment and sustainability. So once you tell them this thing, so before taking any decision or engineering setup, they will always think, oh, my setup will have this type of impact, I cannot do this here. So all those things are to be seen. And this here again, it is Washington Accord knowledge profile 1, 5 and 7, and you can read that. What is 7 is telling, As a graduate engineer, he should have knowledge of the role of engineering in society. उसको पता होना चाहिए कि मैं इंजीनियरों के सोसाइटी के लिए क्या करना है, मुझे मेरा पेरेंट्स के लिए क्या करना है, मेरा नेबर के लिए क्या करना है, मेरा जिस स्कूल से आया हूँ उसके लिए क्या करना है, और जिस जगह में काम करूंगा उन लोगों के लिए क्या करना है. So, and identified issues in engineering practice in the discipline such that the professional responsibility of an engineer to public safety and sustainability development is known to him. So basically, with this type of knowledge, if we give a subject which gives this type of knowledge, then we can say my student has this goal, that is connected to the world. He knows engineering. He knows this engineering problem will have this type of sustainability and this type of environmental effect. That's why he is a perfect man to get connected to the world. So this is PO6 is basically engineer and the world. Basically, it is connected to society. And in question paper, we search that. We look forward to that. Because if you see, so many keywords are there. So if you want to map, then it is difficult to map. You have to put your question accordingly. PO7 is ethics. Now, this is more human aspect. So apply ethical principle and commit to professional ethics, human values, diversity and inclusion, adhere to national international law. आप एक law abiding citizen बनना है. You should look forward to diversity. Inclusion means everybody should, inclusivity should be part of your things, and at the same time your human value factors, professional ethics should not be compromised. All those aspects are coming into picture. जूनियर इंजीनियर मैंने बैठ के वो 500 रुपये लेके साइन नहीं करना है. That this 500 rupees you are taking for yourself, it will kill your grandson, granddaughter, because by the time this water will not be there in the river, and ये 500 रुपये लेके क्या करोगे. So that we forget, we never look forward to that कि कहीं हमारा future generation का हाल क्या होगा. So somewhere this type of things are to be seen very seriously. And ethics is definitely a very important aspect in life. And let me tell you, this particular gun is very challenging, and once you establish yourself in that way, you will get rewards in different way. This is very difficult to really sustain, especially when you are young faculty, a lot of bosses are top of you. Then putting yourself in that position to defend yourself, is that sometimes is difficult. They will नहीं sign करके लाओ, ये लाओ. So then you must be smart enough to take leave on that day, or you can convince them कि सर मेरे से तो साइन होगा, नहीं होगा, आप दूसरा किसी को, मैं छुट्टी ले लेता हूँ, आप किसी को चार्ज दे दीजिए, वही कर देगा. सो वो वाला भी अगर नहीं करेगा, देन ऑफिसर विल रियलाइज कि ये काम होने वाला नहीं है, उसको चेंज करो. दिस वर्क शुड नॉट बी टेकन ऑफ. तो हम क्या करते हैं जनरली, कंप्रोमाइज. चलो मेरे को तो प्रमोशन मिल जाएगा, मैं साइन कर देता हूँ, बट दैट्स नॉट द वे. वी मस्ट शुड नॉट कंप्रोमाइज विथ आवर वैल्यूज. ये बहुत मैंने स्ट्रिक्टली आपको मैंने, इफ यू स्टार्ट इनकल्केटिंग दैट, डिफिकल्ट इनिशियल स्टेज में, बट लॉन्गर स्टेज में ये आपको बहुत बेनिफिट देता है. आई हैव गॉन थ्रू दोज स्टेजेस. वी आर ए ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल, वी आर लाइक दैट ओनली. आगे पीछे नहीं देखते. जो होगा होगा, ऊपर वाला है. सुइसाइडल कैरेक्टर है हम लोग सब. नहीं करेंगे मीन्स नहीं करेंगे. भगवान ही सिर्फ चेंज कर सकते हैं हम लोग को. हम नहीं करके देंगे आपको, बिकॉज इट इज रॉन्ग. और हम लोग नेगेटिव ही नहीं है, आप ये कर लो, ये दिस इज वही कन्विंस जनरली कि भाई कन्विंस करा देते हैं, ये इश्यूज है, अब इसको सेटल कर दो, मैं साइन कर दूंगा, बट इसको नहीं करोगे तो मेरा सिग्नेचर नहीं मिलेगा. और देर आर पीपल दे नो कि ये जगह में काम जरूरत है, नॉलेज चाहिए, पटनायक को बुला, यहाँ मुझे ये करना है, उसको कमिटी में मत रखो. वही एक वो पकड़ लेगा, इसमें बिटवीन द लाइंस लेके पकड़ लेगा. आई हैव सम ग्रुप ऑफ माय और फ्रेंड, और सहस्रपति वाज लाइक दैट. ही वाज आवर सीनियर आल्सो ना. वी स्टार्टेड आवर करियर. हम लोगों का ग्रुप ऐसे से हुए जो एसीटी चेयरमैन थे. Then if you see the Washington Accord Knowledge Profile 9, it is saying that the graduates should have ethics, inclusive behavior and conduct, knowledge of professional ethics, responsibilities and norms of engineering practice. He should have awareness of the need of diversity by reason of ethnicity, gender, age, physical ability, mutual understanding, respect and inclusive attitude. Complete human factor. A good पर्सन का पूरा ये फैक्टर एज ए नॉलेज प्रोफाइल. सो हमारा सब्जेक्ट में सिलेबस में कहीं कहीं ये आना चाहिए. अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम जब करिकुलम बनाते हैं उस दिन में मैं आप लोगों को बता रहा था, आई वाज टेलिंग दैट डे our curriculum when we prepare we are more focused on cognitive, and these factors we generally forget, whereas these are to be included. प्योर सब्जेक्ट ऑफ थ्योरी नहीं होके भी प्रैक्टिस में उसको लाना है, लेबोरेटरी में कहीं लाना है, प्रोजेक्ट में लाना है. ये जैसे असाइनमेंट हम स्टूडेंट को देते हैं, you'll see that एक बच्चा लिखता है उसका कॉपी हो जाता है, मल्टीपल कॉपीज. बट सेम स्टूडेंट्स आई हैव सीन इन यूएस, एक असाइनमेंट दो आप, वो खुद सॉल्व करेगा. वो डाउट होने से टीए को आके पूछेगा कि प्रोफेसर को जाके पूछेगा, बट वो अपना फ्रेंड से कॉपी नहीं मारेगा. सेम इंडियन स्टूडेंट. सो प्लेगरिज्म चेंज. हम जब 96 में थे, कौन सा प्लेगरिज्म सॉफ्टवेयर था? ये एटीट्यूड था उस टाइप का कि भाई वो सॉल्व कर रहा है तो मुझे भी सॉल्व करने दो. डाउट है तो हम डिस्कस करेंगे, लेकिन उसका कॉपी लेके जैसे इंडिया में टॉपो मारता है वो नहीं करूंगा. सो दैट एन इंडियन स्टूडेंट भी यहाँ से पास करके जाते थे, उस टाइप का बिहेवियर हम भी थे, यहीं से गए थे, तो वो एटीट्यूड डेवलप हो जाता है. सो समवेयर वी हैव टू पुट दैट इन माइंड, भाई दिस इज रॉन्ग फॉर यू, ये शॉर्टकट पाथ इज रॉन्ग फॉर यू, यू हैव टू टेक ए बिगर पाथ, लॉन्गर पाथ, क्योंकि लाइफ शॉर्टकट नहीं है, इट इज अ लॉन्ग वे टू गो. सो दिस प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो PO7 कहीं ना कहीं हमारा क्वेश्चन पेपर में कैसे लाना है इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. PO8 is teamwork and individual contribution. Being a part of the team, how you are contributing. आपका project work is best example of this. Question में project work को PO8 का साथ mapping किया जाता है. Now, how do you evaluate it? Because PO, I have told you that it has to be assessed and evaluated. So that means here in this case, you have to bring rubrics. Rubrics में उसका personal contribution भी evaluate होना चाहिए and team as a team member also contribution होना है. So Balbinder will take care of that. I hope I'm not going to teach the rubrics. मेरा पास I used to teach earlier. Now Balbinder is teaching that, so I'll not explain. But you'll mark that जो rubric का key KPIs बोलते हैं, key indicative factors जो आता है, उसको जो key factors को लोगों ने ऐसे सेट करते हैं कि जब उसका इवेल्युएट होगा उसका पर्सनल का आ जाएगा उसमें. कुछ की इंडिकेटर ऐसे होता है कि वो इमीडिएटली उसका टीम वर्क का बेसिस में आएगा, टीम में कंट्रीब्यूशन क्या है. सो अकॉर्डिंगली रुब्रिक्स बेस उसको आप मार्क्स दे सकते हैं. PO9 इज कम्युनिकेशन. सो इट इज कम्युनिकेशन व्हेन वी से जनरली एक रॉन्ग परसेप्शन हम लोगों का माइंड में है कि इंग्लिश बोलना है, अच्छा से बोलना है. नहीं, रिटन कम्युनिकेशन भी आता है उसमें, वर्बल नॉन वर्बल बोथ कम्युनिकेशंस आर इम्पोर्टेंट. So how you are in a position to present yourself, that is matter. So in this case, if you see what they are telling, communicate effectively and inclusively within the engineering community and society at large, such as being able to comprehend and write effective report and design documentation, make effective presentation, considering cultural, language and learning differences. Specialized script writers are picked up. कि आप, मेरा जो आइडिया है, आई एम अनेबल टू कम्युनिकेट टू दिस सोसाइटी, देयरफॉर आई एम नॉट गेटिंग ए रेस्पॉन्स फ्रॉम दिस सोसाइटी. आप इसको इस टाइप का बनाओ कि इट विल पेनिट्रेट टू दिस सोसाइटी सो दैट माय प्रोजेक्ट गेट थ्रू. सो दोज आर स्पेशलाइज्ड टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स. सो ये जो स्टूडेंट, हमारा स्टूडेंट, दे शुड नो हाउ टू गो फॉर टेक्निकल कम्युनिकेशन राइटिंग, how to present a technical paper, how to talk among the team, how they have to go for a verbal, non-verbal communications. All those things are part of this thing. So PO9 is also equally important. Generally हम लोग क्या करते हैं, कम्युनिकेशन लैब बना देते हैं, कम्युनिकेशन टीचर वही इंग्लिश पढ़ाते रहते हैं, बट दे फॉरगेट कि कम्युनिकेशन इज नॉट ओनली इंग्लिश क्लास, इट इज बियॉन्ड दिस. सो देयरफॉर व्हेन वी गो एंड विजिट दिस, दैट वी कैच देम कि ये नहीं है, आप इस टाइप का करना है. So next is your project management and finance, because being an engineer, कल अगर आपको बोला गया कि estimate बनाओ, and if you are not aware of how a project is formulated, management कैसे होता है, कैसे financial management होता है, then how can you prepare an estimate or budget? So therefore, because engineers are to prepare all those things, so therefore this PO10 is that gun where some amount of management and financial knowledge is given. So if you see, apply knowledge of understanding of engineering management principle, economy decision making, and apply these to own works as a member and leader of the team and manage project and multidisciplinary environment. So level of management required for differing type of activities. ये है इसका keyword here. PO11 is lifelong learning. So when we say lifelong learning means ये माइंड में आता है कि पढ़ते रहना है. No, the lifelong learning का पहला concept है कि one individual should know what is my need. So this is very important. Lifelong learning का key word is that you are in a position to create that gun or attribute in the mind of that student, that the student is in a position to develop that capability of knowing its need. कि मेरा ये need है. Once he understands that this is my future need, he will try to explore where to get that knowledge or the skill for that. So automatically lifelong learning will come. So mark the language what is that recognize the need for and have the preparation and ability for independent and lifelong learning. So once he is in a position to recognize its own needs, then he will try to explore. So obviously he will try to explore through his own self-learning. Then adaptability to new and emerging technology and critical thinking in the broadest context technical changes. ये तीनों चीज आता है इसमें. First on need, recognize. Second is adaptability to new changes. Third is critical thinking. So all these three components are lifelong learning. So it is basically the Washington Accord Knowledge Profile 8. The graduate should have the capability of engagement with selected knowledge in the current research literature, discipline, awareness, critical thinking. जो research में हम लोग लिखे थे, investigation में वही आ रहा है इसमें, lifelong learning. So these, okay, I think I have taken the new one which we are draftly prepared. So this 11 POs I have taken. We have merged certain sustainability, this that has come. So doesn't matter. Affiliated institute will have 12 POs. A POs of 12 में define हुआ है. Okay. Here we have merged certain things. So now these are the POs which NBA will define and give to you. Already it is defined in NBA and they will give to you. You have to work out on that. Then what is your work? Your work is map the POs to COs. Your work is to map the POs to your syllabus, curriculum. Your work is to map the POs to your question paper. So three type of mappings are required: CO mapping, question paper mapping, and your curriculum mapping. Curriculum is the foundation. Curriculum will be mapped to PO. If all the 11 POs or 12 POs are not getting mapped, means your curriculum needs revision. Because this is what is the global requirement. Your NBA wants that graduates should have this type of gun. But if your curriculum is missing, means your curriculum is having a gap. So you have to revise the curriculum to map to your all these 11 or 12 POs. So once the curriculums are mapped, now you are implementing the curriculum, you are going for the classroom teaching. But वो गुण उसका पास develop हुआ कि नहीं, whether he has developed that gun or not, how you will know? By assessing. So assessment is through question paper. So therefore your question paper is mapping again. So if the question paper is not covering all your 8 semester till 8 semester question paper are not covering 12 POs, that means your question paper is not having the assessment for 12 POs. You cannot say that your POs are attended because you have not assessed that. You have not evaluated that. Okay. So now curriculum to course outcome will come. Course outcome will be mapped. Question paper will be mapped. So if it is totally mapped, your PO attainment is indirectly achieved. Mathematically, you have to prove, which I'll give you a formula. Okay. Is that clear? So basically, if you see the graduate attributes or the gun or POs, the POs should be associated with the tools and processes, last attainment, effectiveness, efficacy, decision making, program level, all those things is coming into picture. But now sometimes as the dynamic scenario is changing, even if we have defined 11 or 12 POs for you as a teacher, you have understood that the student this need of the industry is different, then you realize that my curriculum is not covering that, my POs are not covering that, it should have beyond this. जब पांडवों को गुरु द्रोणाचार्य पढ़ा रहे थे, उनको कहीं वनवास में छुपने का सिखाए नहीं थे, वो तो भगवान कृष्ण सिखाए उसको. सो जो एडिशनल जो that requirement gund, that gund is PSOs. That PSOs are that extra POs, one or two, sorry, 2 and 3 maximum. You should not give more than 3. Sometimes 4 is acceptable, but we don't appreciate that. But 2 to 3 extra PO which will create, because your 12 POs are not meeting your the gund which is required in the present scenario. You are saying that the globe is changing so fast. For example, I'll give you a best example to you, metaverse world. Now this metaverse world is encompassing our activities, day-to-day activities, like anything. Augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, everything is going to be a seamless physical virtual integration. Even I don't know whether you people are or not. 2022 में this इंटरपोल ने मेटावर्स पुलिस स्टेशन टेस्ट किया है, एंड दिल्ली में कन्वेंशन था. जो आप ये टीवी न्यूज देखा था ना, एक लेडी कंप्लेंट कि मेरे को वर्चुअली somebody is attacking. There was a big news in this. If we both are in the same environment, if we both enter into virtual environment, I can really create problem for you, because you are in virtual, I am in virtual. Through virtual resources, I'll create problem for you. You'll be mentally, physically harassed in that. So now who will check that I'm harassing or the other person is harassing me? So there has to be police station, there has to be metaverse police, and उसका application कैसे होगा? इंटरपोल gave a demonstration in Delhi, and हमारा होम मिनिस्ट्री ऑलरेडी मेटावर्स पुलिस स्टेशन दे आर हैविंग. वो जो साइबर में दौड़ते पकड़ते हैं, इसीलिए तो पकड़ा जाता है आजकल क्विकली. सो ऑलरेडी द मेटावर्स वर्ल्ड इज वर्किंग. फ्यूचर स्कूल जो मैं पढ़ा हूँ, लिटरेचर, आई हैव गॉन थ्रू सर्टेन थिंग्स, सो आई एम वर्किंग ऑन दैट. If another 5-6 year में you will have metaverse schools. Metaverse school means आपका colleges. School word हम लोग यूज करते हैं. So school means colleges. You will have student from Singapore, Afghanistan, US, India in your class. You will have different dashboard. You will be handling a very talented person from Singapore or India to a person who doesn't know anything Afghanistan. But they will be part of your school, and you will be teacher of metaverse. So these are the upcoming scenario with full-fledged implementation of 5G, 6G. You'll see that these are very easily possible. Go back to 10 years back, what the telecom industries or the so-called the IC industry used to give us the scope. Today, how seamlessly we are doing the activities. So things are moving very fast. That's why I told you the first day when I was interacting, you have to be a teacher beyond ChatGPT. You have to be a teacher where you know smartly use this new technology so that your individual labor is less, so that you get time to learn beyond ChatGPT and become a good teacher who can give that type of knowledge depth and knowledge breadth. So now how to create? So PSO is that extra PO which will create a bridge to the gaps of the syllabus which you found. Okay. So now ये पीओस डिफाइनिंग प्रोसेस में आपको अवॉइड करता हूँ. पीओ अटेंडमेंट में what are the important aspects which you have to consider when you are talking about the PO attainments? Background में you must analyze your curriculum, determine the gaps, design beyond curriculum bridging the gaps, measure attainment of COs, and plan meticulously the implementation of the evidence. ये these are the factors which are required PO attainment prove करने के लिए. Just to prove your attainment, we will now work out on that. Whatever you are seeing, I'll the first thing is that go for the keywords. Second, find out the keyword of respective POs. So already I've done that. For all 12 POs, you have to do like this. Then now I'm giving in one example. How Left is the question. Question says that design an antenna which will radiate in 90-degree for mobile phone with low SAR. It is not self assessment report. स्पेसिफिक ऑब्जर्वेशन रेट जो बॉडी में EM ऑब्जर्वेशन होता है वो सार है with AI support to take a decision on clearance for a company. I'll tell you what is this means. That when the companies they go for the new mobile phone, like CDMA phone, when this Qualcomm releases the CDMA one, उसका SAR measurement मेरे से हुआ था. It was 96, 97 में. I did it in US. I was part of that team. SAR means how much deposition is there. ये मेरा स्पेशलाइजेशन है SAR measurement दिस दैट. इंडिया में वेरी लिमिटेड पीपल देयर आर ऑफ दिस थिंग. क्योंकि इसका वो एक प्रोफेसर बिहारी थे JNU में. मैं हमने उनको जो US एक्सपोजर के बाहर में काम करके आए थे, वी नो दिस थिंग. अभी तो धीरे धीरे पीपल हैव दे स्टार्टेड लर्निंग. So the question is telling that design an antenna which will be fixed into the mobile phone so that the mobile phone is in a position to radiate in 90-degree to the mobile phone direction, but that antenna will radiate in such a way that you will have a low SAR. And this low SAR, when we say, means there is a ANSI standard, international standard. हेड में डिपॉजिट का जो बोला जाता है 1.6 वाट पर केजी, मीन्स इफ हेड में 1 केजी टिश्यू आप लोगे 1.6 वाट से ज़्यादा पिक सिग्नल वहाँ डिपॉजिट नहीं होना चाहिए. सिमिलरली हैंड रीजन में इट इज 3.2, एग्जैक्टली 1.6 into 2. आओ जागिर. So it is this type of standards are there. So who will take that decision? AI will take that decision to give a clearance. Suppose a mobile phone is given to you कि SAR टेस्ट करो, टेस्ट करके एक सर्टिफिकेट मुझे दो. But you while testing in the head you found that it is not 1.6, it is 1.78. So that means you cannot give a clearance certificate. You'll say that your mobile phone is not meeting the requirement. So ये decision AI करेगा. So question, try to understand the question. Now we are mapping to the POs. What is the first PO? Engineering knowledge. To design an antenna, math is required or not? Math will come. Physics also will come. Is it coming some chemistry here? Chemistry will not come. Biology will not come. So basically, if you see natural science ka only physics आया and math आया. Engineering fundamental will come here or not? Yes, engineering fundamental will come. Specialized knowledge of the engineering discipline will come here or not? Yes. So those 5 terms में 2 terms are not there. Rest 3 terms are coming. Math is coming. Engineering fundamental is coming. Engineering specialization is coming. So that means it has, and also physics also coming. So therefore it is having higher PO1 mapping. So yes. Then does it require formulation and survey of research literature? Because this is your PO2. Yes. Design करने के लिए, to design you have to survey and also you have to work out on some development. तब जाके होगा. So इसलिए PO2 is yes. Design development solution, is it a design development solution? Yes, because your question is design itself. So PO3 is also mapped. Do you have to conduct investigation? PO4 is investigation basically. Yes, you have to do investigation because this is a problem where investigation is also coming into picture. Modern tool use हो रहा है कि नहीं? AI is there. You have to take a decision on using AI. So modern tool PO5 is also mapped here. PO6, is there any link with the engineer and society? Check karo, it may be mistake. Engineering and society, is there a link? Does it require professional engineering practices to assess societal health and safety? मैं इसको नो लिखा हूं. आपको क्या लग रहा है? जस्टिफाई करो ना. दैट इज व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आई वांट कि आप आपका एक लेखा हुआ को आपका रिव्यूअर जो गया है विजिटिंग टीम वो चैलेंज कर रहा है. सो हाउ मच यू आर नोइंग, यू हैव टू कन्विंस मी नाउ. वो तो मॉडर्न टूल में चला गया. मॉडर्न टूल में चला गया. एआई को कन्विंस नहीं कर सकते ना कि अगर वो वैल्यू ज्यादा हो. नहीं PO6 में जाओ. PO6 says that engineering and society का world, it is connecting to the world, जिसमें उनका सेफ्टी फैक्टर इज कमिंग इनटू पिक्चर. यहाँ लो सार जो लो डिपोजिशन इन द बॉडी इज कमिंग, सो इट इज ए सेफ्टी फैक्टर. सो ये रेडिएशन ज्यादा होगा तो ये अफेक्ट कर रहा है. सो आंसर नो इज नॉट करेक्ट. वहां जो नो लिखा गया इज नॉट करेक्ट. इट मे नॉट बी फुल्ली very strongly coupled, but no is not correct. It has to be yes. Okay. Then environment and sustainability. बताओ environment and sustainability का इशू आ रहा है क्या इसमें? The question, beyond question मत जाना. You are not supposed to drag this question beyond. अपना hypothetically new imagination में question मत लाना. Sustainability is not there. Environment is also, this question is not talking about any environment. So this is correct. No is answer correct. Ethics. कैसे? You explain. AI support. AI तो modern tool decision दिया. आप ethics. But AI को convince करके change नहीं किया जा सकता ना सर. जो ह्यूमन बीइंग को फिर भी ब्राइट किया. सो एआई आपका वो नॉन कंप्लायंस दिया, आप पैसा लेके एथिक्स साइन कर दिए. So therefore here ethical practice is coming into picture because you are giving a clearance certificate. So your professional ethics is coming into picture. So it is yes. Is there any teamwork here? Question में नहीं है. Someone will measure this, that is, there is no question pertaining to that. So therefore individual teamwork, communicate, project report writing भी नहीं है. Lifelong learning is also not coming here. So therefore almost all 9 to 12 POs, serial number 9 to serial number 12, these POs will not be mapping with this one. Just have a look. If you want to defend, like argue कि no, this is not, this is beyond also, we can. This is what I expect from the participants, that because this is my subject, antenna पढ़ाता तो मैं अपना स्टाइल का क्वेश्चन लिया हूँ. You pick up your own question, maybe another question we'll see. Try to do that. So now this gives a broad idea how a question paper is dissect, mapped to the your POs. So first you have to say yes and no, whether it is mapped or not. So once it is mapped, then you have to see the level of mapping, whether it is level 1, level 2, level 3. So first yes, no, binary. Once the binary decision is taken rightly, then the level. That is the way finally the mapping will be done. Now since these are POs outcomes, so assessment has to be done. So there are direct assessment, there are indirect assessment. And these are the tools which are the assessment tools I mentioned. Mid-semester, end-semester, terminal, quiz, all these things are direct assessment. Tutorial, home assignment, laboratory test, project work, viva, quiz, seminar presentations, all those things are direct. Whereas employers feedback, alumni feedback, exit survey, the result of the students in national level test or international level test, the awards in terms of publication, this, that, which they get from various professional society membership, these are all indirect assessment. If a person is capable of, let's say somebody, a student gets IEEE student chapter of your region, he becomes a president of that or general secretary. That means he has a professional strength, that's why they picked up. So that is the indirect assessment of your students. So you have to give some rewards for that. So there are many such direct, indirect assessment tools. So both the tools are to be used. Indirect assessments are to be rubric based, majority case, and almost all are rubric based. Other direct assessments are your normal numeric based. Then this is an example of how a PSO is created. POs, though we talked about POs. Now how a PSO will be created, that is what I would like to explain to you. So PSOs are, don't get confused, PSOs are additional POs. We don't say additional POs in language, but in meaning, these are additional POs. Now, in the present scenario, you see, we talk about the industry 4.0. Our mechanical engineering students are to work in the industry 4.0, where when we talk about the industry 4.0, what comes to our mind? They are all automated industries. They are using the cloud environment, AI tools. So that means the mechanical engineer who is going to this automation industry, he will not be using a lathe machine there. He will be using a machine which is run by AI. So that means he should have some knowledge of cloud environment. He should know how to interface in a cloud environment. He should know how to use the cloud environment. He should also know some about the Python coding or any type of coding where the AI type of coding is possible. So therefore, our syllabus doesn't cover that. मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग में वो आपको क्लाउड इंटरफेस नहीं सिखाएंगे. So but now you are telling that my graduate will be the graduate who will be accepted by the industry. That is your object. Program educational objective में आपका जो ड्रीम है, that in our, why these POCs are coming, because when an institute is telling कि मेरा graduate 4-5 years after they go out of the institute, I want to see them in this avatar, that he will be another Narendra Modi ji, or he will be another big IS officer, or he will be another technocrats who will be leading this ISRO type of environment. So like that, when we have a dream, जैसे parents से बच्चा का dream दिखता है ना कि he will be the surgeon one day बड़ा होके. So उस सर्जन बनने के लिए क्या क्या गुण चाहिए, पेरेंट्स गिव दैट सपोर्ट कि उसको कोचिंग दे के मेडिकल कहीं जाना है, अच्छा मेडिकल कॉलेज में भेजना है, धीरे धीरे वो गुण लाता है. सो जो ड्रीम हम लोगों का माइंड में है कि ही माई ग्रेजुएट विल बी द बेस्ट फिट इनटू इंडस्ट्री 4.0, दैट इन आवर विजन और पीईओज वी हैव रिफ्लेक्टेड दैट. वो प्रोग्राम एजुकेशनल ऑब्जेक्टिव में अगर इसको हम रिफ्लेक्ट किया है, देन पीओ शुड सपोर्ट दैट. वो गुण दे शुड हैव. To get that gun, our curriculum should support that. So now this is what is the gun I want, that my mechanical graduates should fit well into the industry 4.0. But my POs, 12 POs is not covering that. So then I am bringing the extra PSOs. And how the PSOs are created, you see. I have created 4 PSOs here, and आप इसको map करो. So if you see here, the PSO1 is knowledge of machine learning, because cloud environment, if you want to work, there must be some knowledge of machine learning can be given to them. Python coding, working in cloud environment, autonomous system interface. These are the 4 things which were coming into picture. So program specific outcome, when you have to write in a PO's form. Here it is hints, but you have to write in a PO's form only. This is a suggestive mapping. The suggestive mapping is that our program course are more or less mapped to this type of POs. Program electives will be mapped to this type of PO PSOs. Open elective and audit course, major projects, and minor lab. It is my suggestion that you will see majority case your mapping will come like that. Then let's go for a PO attainment example. Madam, कहाँ चले गए? वॉशरूम गए क्या? So the correlations which you have to establish between courses and the PO PSOs, because PSOs are extra. Now let's talk about the PO attainment, how PO attainment can be calculated. For PO attainment, you must have CO attainment in your mind. You should have CO attainment first in your hand to go for the PO attainment. How a CO attainment will be done now, Dr. Balwinder will teach you. So PO attainment, I am giving you an example, how the PO attainment can be calculated. So now, let's say the subject is electromagnetic theory, and in these subjects, I have created 5 COs, course outcomes. What are the course outcomes? After completing this subject, my graduate will be in a position to compute the spatial variations of the coordinate system. They will be capable of calculating the electric and magnetic force. They will be capable of applying the knowledge of electromagnetic to design waveguide. They will be in a position to relate the volume charge density with the flux density, and they will be in a position to select the suitable dielectric materials. Okay, these are, you see, compute, calculate, apply, relate, select. All these action verbs are to be written to define for the COs. Okay, so now you have 5 COs here, and these 5 COs, let's say in these COs, I have created a first PO mapping, because here compute, calculate, apply, relate, select. So all those, creating that, then I found that my subject code first is coming C301 is the subject code. It's one is the first CO, second is second CO, like 5 COs I am having. Then I created a mapping. This articulation matrix I have created 2, 3, 4, 1, 1. So not 4, 1, 2, 3. Wherever it is a better map, 3. Wherever it is not better map, like that, I created articulation matrix. Then what we did, we divide that in each column. You say PO1, what is the average PO1? So 2 plus 3, PO1, just mark PO1. 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3, that becomes 11. And there are 5 COs. So 11 divided by 5 COs, that becomes 2.2. 2.2, so it is rounded to 2. So average attainment of this PO1 is 2. Similarly, PO2, PO3, like that, up to PO12, you will calculate. Now, PO11 only 1 divided by 5, so 0.2. 0.2 is below 5. 0.5, so it is 0. No attainment. It will be not considered as attainment. Once you get this average attainment, then this is the formula to calculate the PO attainment. Average PO divided by 3 into the CO attainment. So average PO attainment is coming from this, the articulation matrix. Okay. So this last row you have to remember. I will be taking this. This is easy. This is mapping. This is articulation 1 which you are getting. Okay. So once the average PO is known to you, divided by the maximum value of PO. Maximum value of mapping PO kitna hai? 3. So basically it is a normalized value we are taking. The average values are divided by the maximum value, means it's normalized into the CO attainment. So CO attainment, how to get CO attainment, Dr. Balvinder will teach you. So once you get this CO attainment, you will be in a position to calculate the PO attainment. ये formula use करके. He may be using another formula. वो second formula मैं यहाँ अभी पढ़ाऊंगा नहीं आपको. So now what I have picked up 4 COs now. उनका अटेनमेंट ले लिया कि मैं जो ये अज्यूम करके चलो कि हम वो अटेनमेंट कैलकुलेशन करके CO का अटेनमेंट वैल्यू इस फर्स्ट कॉलम में मेरे को मिला है. For CO1 it is 2.2, CO3 2 is 2.8, and it is 1.6, 1.4. PO1 का, now you see below I have written PO average of PO1 कितना था? Average of PO1 was 2. Okay. So now average of PO1 was 2. CO1 is 2.2 divided by 3, because 2 by 3 into attainment करना था ना. So मेरा course attainment of CO1 contributing 1.466 or 1.47 to PO1. So my PO attainment due to course CO1 is 1.47. All right. Similarly, my PO attainment, PO1 attainment due to CO2 is 2.8 into 2 divided by 3, 1.86, and so on. उसका बाद इसका average calculate करना है. So that means because of this subject which has 4 CO, all my POs are having some contribution from respective COs, and this contribution is calculated to be this. So average from this subject, my PO attainment is 1.34. What is my intention? My PO should reach always 3. So my electromagnetic theory gave me 1.34. Maybe microwave will give me something, antenna will give something. So by the time the student goes, he will have a PO1 as 3. So if the PO1 is not 3, let's say it is 2.1, that means your continuous improvement is required. So your that criteria 7, you can justify the PO1 could not be attained. So therefore, I will take this extra labor to see that the PO1 is improved by this person. So that is what is the data which we talk about. Okay. So that's the way it is done. So for each column you have to do. So that will give you an idea कि किस PO ने किस attainment हुआ. This is easy. This is the way you have to do it. Then this is, let's say, from the subject you are bringing, but PO attainment also will come from the indirect, because what are those indirect? I have already told you that indirect tools are ये है assessment tool, indirects are there. So generally what you have done, you will be considering 80% from direct, 20% from indirect, because indirect mein you don't have much control. So therefore your indirect percentage is kept low. Maybe 20-25 you can keep, and here because these database are available to you easily, you will be in a position to prove yourself easily. Therefore we generally suggest keep higher value for direct assessment, because those data are available with you. All right. Yes, some exit survey का कैसे calculation है. I'll just give you one example, and after that we can finish. Let's say in a class, the scale is 1 to 5. Survey data ले रहे ना. No student gave you 1. 2 student gave you 2 marks. 3 student gave you 3 marks. 14 students gave the 4 marks. Take the 4, and 6 student take the 5. Okay. So then, what is the total score which we are getting? It is 25. 2 plus 3, 5. 19, 6, 25 divided by the number of students is divided by, what is this? Your इसका weighted average करना है. Here you see 2 student 2, 3 student 3. Below I have done it. 14 student 4, 6 student 5. Total score is 99 divided by 25. So it is 3.96. So it is 3.96. Okay. Similarly, the other column, like that, you get the percentage attainment is 76%. Let's say simple single line है, इसको easily देख लीजिए 76. Take 20% of this and take 80% of direct. दोनों को मिलाने से जो attainment होगा, that becomes the pure attainment. Is that okay? Actually, a lot of things are there to tell you, but मुझे बलविंदर के लिए जगह छोड़ना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि he will go for exercise. Second half में आपका ये hands on exercise किया जाएगा इसके ऊपर. So he will do that. I am available in second half. I'll come also in between, but maybe I'll be relieved today. Tomorrow I have to catch the flight to join my new assignment. So I stop it here. If you have any questions, you asked me.